Hi Capricorn, welcome to your timeless reading. I trust that this will find you when you need it. And as always, use your discernment when listening to tarot readings because you know your life and your situation better than anyone else. These are general readings, which means I'm just looking at like energies, situations, dynamics, patterns, and how those might be playing out for you. I'm not necessarily doing specific career or love readings, although sometimes it plays out that way. And what else about my readings? Oh yeah, they're meant as confirmation or guidance, not necessarily me telling you what will happen or what you should do. And this time around, I'm using the movie tarot, which was gifted to me by my good friend in film school. And I'm also using the Movie Genius pack of playing cards. It's not an oracle deck, but since I'm going with the movie theme, I thought it would be fun to do it that way. So Capricorn, let's see. We got the 7 of Coins, 6 of Cups, 10 of Cups. Love to see 4 of Cups, the Hermit. I'd like to get some more though. Eep. That feels like plenty. Okay, we'll take these. The King of Cups, Bill Murray in Lost in Translation. 8 of Wands, 8 of Coins, 9 of Coins, 10 of Wands, and the Page of Coins, which I think is from, let's see, Page is of Coins. Oh, Dev Patel in Slumdog Millionaire. It's been so long since, so like the other thing you should know is I'm a film buff who like hasn't seen all the movies referenced in this deck, and I'm also a film buff who has seen Slumdog Millionaire, but like it's been so long I might as well have not seen it in a way. And we also got Ida Lupino, Queen of, I would say, Wands energy. She's an actress, and she was in no movies I've seen. See? A lot of old, like an old movie actress. Okay. What happened to her? She died from a stroke. Okay. Let's see what else we can find on her. Her short yet immensely, she was a director? Okay. I should know that, I guess. She was a British actor, singer, director, and producer. Her short yet immensely influential directorial career, tackling themes of women trapped by social conventions, usually under melodramatic or noir quiverings, is a pioneering example of proto-feminist filmmaking. Oh, well, you know me. I would love that. So good for her. Ida Lupino. Or Ida. A pioneer. Goes to show how crappy our educational system is that I don't know who she is, and I went to film school, and I should. And Queen of Wands energy. Okay. So Capricorn, we got interesting. I like this. 7 of Coins, 8 of Coins. Got a little progression. Oh my god, and the 9 of Coins. I love that. I love these coming together. So let's kind of, I think, start there with what's come up already. You might be in a situation, Capricorn, where you are a very creative individual. You have a lot of ambition. You have kind of like can do it all, right? Singer, actress, director. Queen of Wands energy is very creative, very like witchy, very like kind of like bringing things into being, having fun playing. But we were just had this whole little spiel conversation about how I don't know who she is. And like maybe that's feeling kind of true for you, particularly with this 4 of Cups. Is like feeling just a little bit unrecognized, feeling a little bit like your hard work isn't paying off, feeling a little bit like this is to me the ennui card, but I think particularly we also got the 10 of Wands. I think this would be like feeling burdened by like your own process, but I think not only feeling burdened by the process of like what it is that you're embarking on, your dreams, etc., like what you're trying to build in the world, but I think that like a lack of recognition, Ten of Wands, can make us feel burdened, because it's kind of like the feeling of putting all of your energy into a black hole, right? I'll hold up the Ten of Wands too. I've definitely felt this way in my life, and maybe this is resonating for you, Capricorn, especially since you're a Capricorn. Oh my goodness. Like, I think it's not that you're doing things for validation, but I think that you like to see that there is momentum being built. I think that you like to see that there are results for your labors. It's just kind of more about the feedback kind of rejuvenating you. It's totally a normal human thing. I don't think it's about you not doing what you do because you love it. I mean, Queen of Wands energy, Ida Lupino, she's a pioneer. Like, and you are too, right? You might be doing something that's never been done before. So this is Act 1 of our story today, Capricorn, which is, you've been working hard, but it kind of feels like something isn't working, maybe, in this process. Like, you're very creative, but you're burdened, right? And Four of Wands on like, I think you're just not seeing the point, maybe. Like, what's the point? It's kind of like if you're making movies and no one's watching them. Kind of like, who am I doing this for? Like, why? Okay. Well, we got the Hermit, and this really feels important to me coming up next. The Hermit, this is Meryl Streep in Out of Africa, but I've not seen it. Hilarious. Okay, I'll get over it. I have seen Slumdog Millionaire. Again, it's been a while, and I'm very familiar with Lost in Translation, so don't worry about it. Okay. The Hermit, Capricorn, is, I think, you going inward for sure, finding your own inner light, your own truth, but I think you're discovering what it is about what you do that feeds your soul just for the sake of doing it. So kind of like the energy, the vibe is like, you've been doing this thing, but not getting, it's like just starting to feel heavy and like kind of like, what's the point? And you just can't see it anymore. Whoops. Again, maybe because you're being like overlooked, and that's a bad feeling. It feels like you're putting energy, it gets sucked up into a black hole, and it's like Sisyphus pushing the rock up the hill. Like, why am I pushing this rock up the hill anymore if it's just gonna come back down? Like, literally, why am I involved in this exercise? So, Hermit is like, for a moment, pull back, come back to yourself, and it's like, what brings you joy? What lights you up? What is your own truth? What would you be doing regardless of whether, like, so if it was making movies, would you be making movies just for the process and the joy of it, even if no one saw them? Or are you only doing it for people to see them? Of course, there's a relationship there, like you do art or create work or get involved in things because it's reciprocal and you want to like share your gifts. But there's also the process and what brings you joy and like kind of what feeds your soul. And I think that's what the Hermit is talking about, is like, what do you do just for you? Because like a lot of artists, not all artists, but a lot of them have written things where they've written like 20 books, but they only published 5, right? And so that, I think, shows the kind of energy, especially 7 of Coins, of someone who is involved in the process just for kind of their own personal growth and kind of seeing what of their projects are things that they want to share. So it just kind of feels like, Capricorn, there's a little bit of a shift between doing things for external validation, knowing that it's perfectly normal and natural to want that, but dialing it back and kind of thinking like, what am I involved in that is actually for my soul's growth? And what am I doing that it doesn't matter? what the outcome is, and what am I growing, right? Kind of like, what am I growing? Who am I growing it for? Why am I growing it? What projects, what endeavors, what energy, what relationships do I want to be involved in, regardless of the feedback, regardless of how, you know, whether you're recognized as a proto type of feminist pioneer filmmaking or not, right? Just doing the creative work because you need to do the creative work. Got it. Okay, I think we've spoken on that enough for now. And then we got this really nice progression and all these like really great energies coming up. So we got the 7, and then we got the 8, and then we got the 9, and we got 6 of Cups, 10 of Cups, like 8 of Wands. Things are like really looking up for you, Capricorn. So I don't remember this movie that well, as I've said 20 times to you already, but I think I do remember that in the end he plays Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and I am like pretty sure that like every question he was asked had pertained to something that had happened to him on his own personal journey. And so it was like very serendipitous in the sense of like he won because like he had lived his life, and like because like the universe was conspiring with him, and like the page is a beginner's energy, a beginner's mind. And I feel like that's like a lot of like what I am being called towards with this, is that maybe in a way, Capricorn, in the past you've been trying way too hard, right? Like to be important, to be perceived and recognized. Maybe Ida Lupina doesn't care that like I might be saying her name wrong. Like she doesn't care about me at all. She doesn't care that like, maybe I don't know her obviously, and I think she died, but like maybe she didn't do it for kind of those accolades or for kind of that position. And like, even though maybe it is a bummer that she's been overlooked so much, it's still kind of like she was just doing it for that hermit reason of just feeding her own soul to see what grows. And with this, it's like, I think when you do get in touch with yourself and kind of connect with like, what am I doing just for the sake of like healing myself, or like processing something I'm going through, or doing because I get really excited, like learning about it. When you're just kind of in your own flow of honoring yourself, I feel like the universe is just going to conspire to meet you there in this space of you honoring your own soul's growth and path, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So we got this 8 of Wands, which is this like forward movement. I think that this is speaking to me a little bit, Capricorn. Like, just because things have been heavy and hard for so long and you stopped seeing the point, it doesn't mean that you stopped being a creative, important person who is a pioneer, right? Like, that's still the truth about you. And so maybe the message is just like, maybe you've become disconnected from your truth about yourself because you've kind of maybe put yourself in a position of only seeing yourself on the basis of how other people are seeing you. What I've been talking about over here. But when you just start seeing yourself as yourself, loving yourself, kind of, again, embracing a beginner's mind too, of just what makes you curious, what your journey is, kind of what, like, I should rewatch this movie, but I think with the idea of all the questions at the end of the test are going to be things that you were going to do anyway, right? So kind of like stop looking for the right answers. Stop looking for like the success big hit. Stop looking for what is like what you think other people want from you, or what will be impressive, or even let go of what has been heavy. Let go of like the things that you're just not interested in anymore, and just kind of start over with this fresh openness about what you're building, about what it is that you're doing, about this like perspective that you're finding with the hermit energy of going inward and just connecting with your process of on the basis of you growing things for the sake of your own self-actualization. I think we might be surprised, Capricorn, at how quickly things change, how quickly things move forward, how serendipitous it all becomes when we do start just honoring ourselves as the artists or creators or entrepreneurs or whatever it may be that you're endeavoring on. Because then I think with the 8 of Coins, it's like, this would be, maybe you come up with a new idea in kind of like seeing what it is that you want to grow, and it just grows really quickly and exponentially, right? Like there's just a lot of flow and like a lot of momentum and a lot of growth for you in terms of where you've been stuck in the past, because you found the right answer. Like you found what it is that like you're excited to show up for, like what lights you up, what your inner light is, right? So that could be the example, like a sports metaphor for a moment, even though this is movies. It could be like that you've been trying to be really successful at football, American football, little Ted Lasso vibes, right? And like it hasn't really been working out for you. You go inward, you're like, I love sports, but like I'm not being successful in this field. Why not? Maybe I'm gonna try to do something new. I know I love the running part of football, but I don't love the being like hit, like knocked over part. I want something that's like still got a little bit of that contact sport vibe, but like less aggressive. Beginner's mind, maybe I'm gonna try soccer, pick that up. Oh, turns out I'm like really excellent at soccer and have a natural gift for it, and like I'm really like growing in my capacity and learning really quickly and like putting in the work and the hard work, but my work is just really blossoming and paying off in like really exponential ways, as I said, that it never did before. And 9 of Coins is a card of like independence and of like wealth and abundance, but like kind of on your own terms, right? So it feels like the shift for you, Capricorn, is going from a person who's like looking to everyone outside of them and being like, why aren't you recognizing me? Like, why is this so heavy? Why isn't this working? Why is this like just not happening for me? And then it's like remembering like, well, I'm creative, or I'm a sports person, or I'm active, I'm whatever I am, because there's just a part of me that's just my nature, and I'm just connecting with myself a little bit deeper and tapping into my nature and what's true for me and what really, again, lights me up, so that I can just be kind of open to like living my life, beginner's mind, like kind of building something new, but building something that is a little more right for me. And the universe is conspiring with me now because everything is moving so quickly. My own progress, my own like ideas, my own growth, my own like the projects themselves are growing, like the business is growing, like whatever it is, like making that shift with the Hermit, with Meryl Streep. And I mean, Meryl Streep can be anyone, right? And I think you can be anyone too. As a little bit of what I pick up with this particular Hermit card is like maybe you've been like unconsciously limiting yourself based on like, again, maybe an over reliance on other people recognizing you for something, but it's like you need to just recognize yourself. And then people will learn about you and feel bad that they didn't know who you were. And you're going to like grow into like a little bit more of an independent version of yourself very quickly, much more quickly than you expect. So I would say that is act 1 is Capricorn being doubted and not recognized, feeling frustrated, feeling like all their energy just gets sucked into a black hole. What's the point? Why does it matter? What am I doing? Then it's like kind of Superman Cave of Solitude moment where like Superman goes to his home planet and like does whatever he does there and like kind of comes back to himself and like realizes like, oh, I'm this person, and like even though I haven't really like given myself a chance to be this person yet, I know that this is actually my true self. I'm going to begin again, but I'm going to begin again with like a stronger, clearer notion of me as a person. And then everything just starts to take off, right? Like it's all just really like fast, and maybe even happening all at once, because we got 7, 8, 9, right? So there's just this like really quick progression of you moving into like the really independent, stable version of yourself who's really abundant and like has it all going on. So that was act 2. So like act 1 was like, who am I? What's the point? Act 2 is like, oh, this is who I am, and it's all happening. It's all taking off. It's all great. So now we're in act 3, and there's a happy ending. We have the King of Cups, represented by Bill Murray. We'll have to unpack that. 6 of Cups, and the 10 of Cups. I feel like at some point, Capricorn, pretty quickly, pretty soon, you are on top of the world. right? And I feel like there's definitely a sense of like, now Capricorn, I mean, Ten of Cups is the happy ending. It's fulfillment. It's like, you know, kind of feeling emotionally satisfied. But with the Six of Cups, there's a little bit of nostalgia. And I think in the King of Cups, Bill Murray, Lost in Translation, it's like, here's a man who like kind of technically has it all, right? Like he's like well paid to do commercials. He gets to travel the world. He gets to go to Tokyo. But he has a lot of Four of Cups, ennui. And so it's like kind of like the problems of success in a way. It's almost like a little bit of like kind of like, I'm getting be careful what you wish for. Not that I don't want you to go on this journey or to have kind of like this this Ten of Cups fulfillment, happiness. But I think this Six of Cups, it's like weirdly like you're kind of having to like this is like feeling like, okay, everything's heavy and nothing's working. What's the point, right? And this was like going inward, connecting with what you love, and then you just like take off from there, right? Because you're just following the path and the universe is conspiring to meet you. So I think when you have it all, it's like in a way you have to go back to the Hermit for like almost the opposite reasons. Like in like the beginning, it's like we had to come to the Hermit energy to connect with what is our true passion. But when we know what our true passion is, and the world is like recognizing us and like whatever, it could feel like a little bit of like, oh, like I did just watch Dear White People, and like they talk about in that show, they're like, oh, remember when we weren't doing what we're doing for like producers and for like networks, when we were just doing it for ourselves? And then they were like, yeah, but when we were doing it that way, we were like really unhappy. And then so it's kind of like a little bit of like weirdly in coming full circle, you're also coming back to like maybe this Four of Cups energy, which is still the Ten of Cups. It's like still you're in a good place. Things are still really good, but I think it's kind of like knowing ultimately that true happiness is within. So it's like even when we're at the like the place we've been like trying to get to our whole lives, this emotional fulfillment, this like having it all, this kind of like being on top, this king of the world energy, King of Cups, king of emotions. It's Six of Cups too. It's also like a little bit of like glamorizing the journey that you just went on to get to this point. So I think the third act is kind of like you having to just come back again to this Hermit, come back to yourself and realize that your fulfillment, your happiness is within you. So I think that's the message ultimately of this reading, is that like, yes, you're on this journey. Yes, you have like things that you want to do in the world, things you're going to accomplish, things you're building, kind of your own like legacy or your own impact that you're trying to make here with all this coin energy. And you will have your forward movement, but it's like not necessarily always about the forward movement. It's ultimately about you coming home to yourself, connecting with yourself, and knowing that happiness is kind of what you make of it, and happiness is within. And that is kind of what I'm getting with this like King of Cups, is like part of the mastery of your emotions is not being so reliant on the external world for that validation, whether that picture is looking good or bad, right? So externally, even if it's looking bad, like I don't know who Ida Lupino is, or if it's looking good, like, you know, people want to hire me to do commercials and like I'm recognized, but I kind of like miss the past, or like I'm like looking for some kind of deeper emotional connection. It's like emotional connection starts with me. Happiness starts with me. My fulfillment, my creativity, what lights me up. It's all within me. So, I mean, the Hermit, Meryl Streep, it all comes back to Meryl Streep, but it's like basically Capricorn. No matter where you are on your path, whether you're at a low point or a high point, ultimately it all comes back to you connecting with yourself and your own truth, and knowing that this Ten of Cups was always available to you even at the beginning, right? Like you can have whatever 10 you want in a way, but part of it is your perception, part of it is what you're connecting with within yourself, and part of it is how you're seeing things. So it's like, yes, there's the journey, there's the work, there's what you do, there's like, your legacy, all that stuff. And there can be forward growth, but like, you know, success has its own complications. And the true mastery of your emotions is just knowing that like this Four of Cups can show up at the bottom of the mountain or the top of the mountain. Especially since you're a Capricorn and you're very concerned with the mountain. It ultimately doesn't matter where you are on the mountain. Not really. It just matters that the mountain is teaching you how to have a relationship with yourself and how to see and access the Ten of Cups wherever you are. And whenever you are in touch with like your own Ten of Cups energy, your own inner fulfillment, your own inner peace, your own sense of like happiness and doing what lights you up, and your own sense of like self-love and like self-respect, I think then it like doesn't really quite matter what's happening. I mean, it somewhat matters, but it's always about you meeting yourself, and then the universe will meet you there. And maybe when things get really good, then it's kind of like recalibrating back to that point, right? Recalibrating back to the point of the whole point of the journey was just for me to meet myself where I'm at, wherever I am. And for me to love myself, and for me to find fulfillment and happiness in my own journey, not because of the accolades or whatever, but because that was like why my soul came to this planet, essentially, was to share and give love and happiness. So if you liked this, please like and subscribe, and I would love to see you for a personal reading. I have links below to my website, which I just launched recently, and you can set up a one-on-one with me, and it'd be really fun to connect and do a reading for you. So please do that, and I'll see you again next time. All right, love you. Bye.